In this video today, I'm going to talk about the Hypervolt by Hyperice. And as a little disclaimer, first and foremost, we don't get paid to sell these. It's just something that we really like in the clinic. We use one of their souped up versions, which is fantastic and patients love it. And we've had more and more patients asking if they can have something similar at home. And we've done a little bit of digging around. We've used a number of other devices as well personally. We've found their sort of portable, more geared towards home use version in the Hypervolt. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about that from sort of an unbiased point of view. Yes, we use it, but we want to give you our sort of unfiltered opinion on it. So first and foremost, the bad things. It's not as powerful as the unit that we have here, but it's about 1/10 of the price. So that's a big trade-off there. Who is it for? So a lot of the time people are doing things like foam rolling, they're doing stretching, massage, etc., 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 and these can all be really time consuming. A lot of the challenges patients have to doing their own stretching after workouts when we give them rehab here in the clinic is that they just don't have the time. And the great thing about these is you can get some good work done into your muscles straight after a workout in a very, very time efficient manner. So there's no real barrier to doing it, plus it feels really nice and it's not too difficult, unlike things like foam rolling. If you've ever had to foam roll your thighs after training your legs, it's basically an upper body workout. You end up feeling more tired and sweaty than you did before you started. So massive benefit here. So you can just go straight along the legs, nice and easy while you sat down or laid down, and you get the whole thing done in around about 3 to 5 minutes each leg. So it's very, very time efficient. Now it can be used for athletes. So you've got people that are working out in the gym like myself who are training hard and want to really look after those muscles to avoid things like injuries. So I'll be using it over the weekends. I take this particular one home and I'll be using it on my legs after a workout, sometimes before as well, the glutes, the lower back, etc., just to keep them really nice and supple, both before and then after a workout, to get rid of some of that lactic acid so they recover really nicely. And I personally have noticed that I do, considering the amount of intensity that I've increased my working out by, it really has helped me keep in pretty good condition. So that's the first thing. Second thing, patients. Now, our clinic here, we have a lot of patients coming in with back pain, and although they don't necessarily use it at home straight away, it is something that more and more patients are using, and as far as we can tell, the feedback has been pretty good. Now, we don't sell them here in the clinic, we just say go and buy it on the proper website and sort it out separately, but the feedback does seem to always be very favorable. It's something that patients find very useful, and because it's not too aggressive and it's really, really light compared to the one we use here, you can use it on yourself. It doesn't matter where you want to reach to. You can use it on your legs, on your upper back, on your lower back, on your arms, etc., shoulders. It really is very, very easy for patients to use on themselves. And with a little bit of instruction here in the clinic, they can get something really nice put together in terms of a routine to help them with their particular pain points or particular weaknesses as we've identified in clinic. The next group of people is maybe slightly older patients that just want to increase the circulation to those muscles, make sure they're getting adequate drainage and adequate perfusion of blood into those muscles, particularly in the legs and then some of the lower back regions and the glutes. It just keeps those muscles nice and awake and alive and adequately perfused with oxygen so they can work as effectively as possible. It also provides quite a good bit of relief for those sorts of patients with more chronic problems based on our experience. Now, that's the sort of the people that use it, so to speak. What is it like itself? Now, if you've ever come across any of these sort of self-vibration units, there's a few critical points that I've come across myself when using them that you want to be aware of. Number one, some of the cheaper devices or other devices that I've used, they have a very large amplitude. So when we turn this on, you can see that it's moving a very reasonably small distance. It's about a centimetre just over in terms of how far it's moving. And this is on the max setting, so quietness is quite important. Okay. Some of the other ones, the amplitude, the distance that it moves is more like a punching motion. So it's much more forceful and much less finessed, if you will. This is real vibration. It works very, very nicely. And yes, it's not as good as the £3,000 version, but it does do the job at 350 quid. So do bear that in mind. And we're looking for something that's affordable for patients to use realistically on themselves. And you don't have to get a mortgage out to buy the thing. Second point, as I already mentioned, is the sound. Some of the other devices that are both a little bit more expensive and a little bit less expensive than this one do find that they produce an awful lot of sound and you feel like you're on a building site. I remember the very first time we got one of these devices, I literally almost dropped the thing because it was so noisy when I turned it on. So that is something that you want to bear in mind. If you're at home watching TV or on the computer, you can do this on your leg while you're having a conversation, or the TV you don't need to change the volume to get the work done. Whereas some of the other devices you really do. It's very, very noisy and really takes away from the actual enjoyment of using the thing on yourself. So bear that in mind. The next thing is the versatility. So you can see over here on the table, we've got a few different heads you can use. I personally like this flat one the best. It's the most versatile. But you've got the fork, which is quite nice as well. And then you've got this head, which is particularly good for coming along down the trapezius muscle. And then the little bit more pokey one, which can get into the nooks and crannies, particularly in and around the glute region, to get a little bit more deep penetration into some of those hip rotators on the side of your hips here. So that can work nicely, but find what works for you. But they do have that versatility inside the box, so you can just interchange the heads nice and easily and carry on with what you're doing. It's got the 3-speed setting on the back. You just hit the button a number of times, and it's worth mentioning, it's, what is it now? It's June 2019. I do believe, as far as I've seen on their website, they've actually come up with a brand new version of this, so definitely check that out because it's probably going to be better than this one. I think it's got a few other little quirks to it that make the same good device a little bit better. Finally, coming to the pricing. In terms of getting a massage here in London, you might spend 100 quid for an hour, and that's once. This is £350. If you know someone in America or going to America, I would buy it there because the dollar exchange rate, you don't make the saving when you buy it here in the UK. But that being said, £350, I think it is well spent. It's so good we bought this, considering we do have the other one here as well. So bear that in mind. In terms of the general price range for these sorts of devices, you are looking at somewhere in the region of 200 up to about 600 for most of the handheld ones or competitive models for this one. So it is slap bang in the middle. And from what I can tell, it's probably the quietest and sort of most effective one you can get. But that's pretty much our review. It's reasonably honest, reasonably upfront. As I said, we've had patients here that really get on well with it and find it a very useful adjunct to treatment. From a self-massage point of view, it's fantastic, value for money in my opinion, but you can be the judge yourself. And if you're an athlete or someone looking to train hard and have something to support you and you don't want to do foam rolling, or you don't have endless hours a day to do foam rolling, then it is 100% the right choice for you. But feel free to leave any questions in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them with specific sort of our impressions with relation to your question, and we'll do our best to answer those as much as possible. Hope that video has been helpful. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting. Now, if you want any more of our videos, then click here. We've got a nice one on our Back in Shape program. Up here, you can look at some of our recently uploaded videos, and remember, click up the top above my head for the link to subscribe, and do that so you don't miss out on anything in the future.